You know, education is the answer. Whatever the question is, education is generally the answer.
Longtime Oklahoma City public servant and South Oklahoma City advocate Pete White has been standing by those words throughout his lifetime.
Something that's close to my heart. I mean, my mother was a teacher, you know, my wife was a teacher. You know, I've got cousins that were librarians and teachers and aunts that were teachers. And so education is part of my family. In fact, I was telling one of my grandchildren the other day the difference between the way I looked at education and the way kids look at it now is mine wasn't finished until I had a college degree. There wasn't any decisions to be made between the 7th grade and a college degree. That's just the way it was going to be, and I knew that from the very beginning. And that's the kind of family I came from, and that's just how I feel about education. I think whatever it takes to convince more young people that that's the way it goes, the better off we're going to be. And OCCC is certainly out there on the forefront of that idea. It's opened its arms to a number of children that are graduating from high school that could not afford to go to school otherwise. I think there's no way to estimate the importance of that.
Pete has just been a supporter, publicly and privately, of the college since its inception, since we opened our doors. But as city councilman in particular, because he had a greater sphere of influence, he would publicly and privately talk about the kinds of students the college was helping. Pete has a very keen dedication to those less fortunate, to those struggling, to the middle class, and to students who were not born wealthy or don't have wealthy parents, the working people of South Oklahoma City in particular.
Because when I grew up, if you lived south of the river, you lived in Capitol Hill. You didn't have to live on 25th Street. You lived in Capitol Hill if you lived south of the river. And you know, we had our own radio station, we had our own television station, we had our own newspaper, and we had our own college, and we paid for all those things. We had our own hospital, we built those things. It was just the fact that it's a tax-based, funded institution by people that live here in South Oklahoma City is just another indication of what I think the spirit of South Oklahoma City really is.
It's that spirit of South Oklahoma City that Pete felt would be a solid foundation upon which to build new dreams in Capitol Hill.
Pete White has had a direct and dramatic influence on the OCCC Capitol Hill Center. The college had owned the buildings, the former Langston's building and the former Katz Drugstore building for years, but simply had not had money to refurbish the building and to open the OCCC Capitol Hill Center at that location. So Pete White, with other members of the council, particularly David Greenwood, but Pete White was the leader in that effort to help the college obtain funding in the amount of $3 million from the city of Oklahoma City through tax increment financing funds. And without that commitment, we would not have been able to begin construction as early as we did.
I think it'll probably open up a different group of young people, and not all young people, because it has an adult component to it also, to education. I just think it's, and for 25th Street, I think one of the problems with redevelopment of an older area like 25th Street is you have to have enough bodies there to bring the restaurants there, to bring the shops there, and it's going to do that. And so it's going to bring people at a quality level there, people seeking an education. So I think the sky's the limit to what it can do. I think the spirit that is Capitol Hill is alive and well in Oklahoma City Community College. I think Jerry Stewart's a perfect guy to be the president of it from that standpoint. And I think we're just beginning to see the long-term impact of it.
Pete understands how Oklahoma City Community College is going to be a catalyst for growth and change.
And a long chain of people at the school have had that vision for the future. You look at what Oklahoma City Community College has accomplished, and Oklahoma City Community College is out there on the cutting edge of doing things, and I think I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of the part I've played over the years in that.